My name is Michael Waddington, and I'm a criminal defense attorney. In this video, I want to talk about the role that parents and family can play in a criminal defense case. Many of the people that we represent are in the military, and their families unify and help them out. They're there to help them financially at times, or they're there to support them in terms of giving them the hope, the encouragement, and keeping them in the fight. Because that's what this is going to be if you're facing criminal charges in the military. But if you're a service member and your family's involved in your case, I want to just give you a few words of advice and caution. Your family, particularly your parents or your loved ones, are often suffering more than you. You might not understand that until you become a parent, but a mother or father that is going through a court-martial that involves their son, or an investigation where very serious allegations are on the line, the parents are undergoing tremendous amounts of stress. You need to understand that and not make their situation worse. So I know a lot of parents will jump in and help out their children or family members or loved ones. And a lot of times the service member takes that for granted. And so I'm advising you to not take that for granted. Let them know you're grateful. Help out with the fees if you can. A lot of times I've seen people that they're demanding their mother or dad pay the fees, and they're out blowing the money on alcohol and vacations and trips pending their court-martial. Now, your parents might not care, but I tell you, as a father of two grown children, one of whom served 6 years in the military, my son, if you're respectful and you appreciate what they're doing without making them more stressed out, that'll go a long way. And that leads me to the next point. Not telling them what's going on is not an option if you really care about them. We've had many cases where the son or daughter tries to go through a military proceeding and doesn't tell their parents until it's too late, until the person gets convicted. They try to do it on their own. And then the parents are heartbroken, and they end up calling us, asking us, how do we appeal this case? And your odds of winning an appeal are not very good. So get your family involved early. Let them know the basics. Don't be discussing the details and facts of the case, but keep them apprised of the procedural dates and things that are going on so that they can be there to support you. Because it's very important, in my opinion, to have family members there to support you. Because if you win, that's great. If you get convicted of anything, you're going to need those family members to help you get back on your feet and to help support you, at least emotionally, in getting back on your feet and to love you as their family member or son or daughter. And most good parents or family members will be there for you. They might not approve of what misconduct you may or may not have got into, but they want to be there to support you. Most of the people that we deal with, their families, will do anything to help their child, whether they're guilty or not guilty, because they love them and they want to do whatever they can to help that person out. So keep that in mind, and don't be afraid of, I don't want to shame my parents. You got to let them know what's going on, okay? I'd be very upset if I found out my son was, when he was in the military, went through a court-martial and did not get me involved. Now, I'm a lawyer, and obviously I could help him out, but even if I wasn't, I would do whatever I could to help my son or daughter out. The last thing is this. You want to make sure that your family members are able to be there as potential witnesses. We've had plenty of cases where we call mom, dad, grandma, aunt, uncle, loved ones in, and they made a tremendous difference in the case. I've had cases where we call the wife in, and the wife explains the husband's problems with alcohol after a deployment, for example, or PTSD, and it gives a human perspective into the case. And also, if the person happens to get convicted of something, you need those family members there. They can make a huge difference in lowering a sentence or reducing any sort of punishment that can be given to you. Judges really like hearing from family members that care, because it says a lot about the service member. Now, if you don't have family members that are mom or dad, a lot of people don't have mom or dad in their lives. Anyone that you have, such as an aunt, an uncle, a close friend, a mentor, an adoptive parent, anyone that's close to you can fill the same role that I'm talking about. And that could include a spouse. So the bottom line is, if your family members are out there, you should get them involved. You should be respectful. You should try to help out. And you should remember that in the end, they care about you and they will do whatever it takes to help you get on your feet. You would actually be surprised. I've had people accused of very serious, very heinous things, some of which they did. And they were shocked that their family members, despite what they did and what they're convicted of, were there to help them and fight until the end to get them back because they love them so much. That's my advice. Take it for what it's worth, but I've done many, many cases, and it's always good to keep the family involved in your case.